first question, consider the following statement with regard to right to equality. The word person in this article includes legal persons, companies, statutory corporations. True or false? True. This article does not imply in situations where equals and unequals are treated differently. True or false? And it also it is also attached to that it prohibits class legislation. It is true or false? Second statement is true or false? Second statement is true. Okay. Where equals and unequals are treated differently, right to equality does not apply. Okay. So both 1 and 2. Second question, which one of the following objectives are embodied in the preamble to the Constitution of India? So economic liberty is included or not? Not included. So 1, 3, 4 is the answer. Third question, in which of the following case did Supreme Court of India rule that all laws including in the 9th schedule would be open to judicial review if they violated basic structure of the Constitution? Which one is the answer? IR Koilo case. What is the year? Which is the year in which IR Koilo case? 2007. Fine. Fourth question, consider the following statement with reference to fundamental rights. Private body also falls under state under Article 12. True or false? True. The term law includes Constitutional Amendment Acts. True or false? False. Constitution Amendment Act is not considered as a law. So second statement is false. Then the scope of judicial review power of Supreme Court in India is wider than that in US. True or false? So why? What is the reason? We follow procedure established by law. It is narrower than the due process of law which is followed in US Constitution. So not correct is being asked. So 2 and 3 is the correct answer. Then fifth question, consider the following statements. Consider the following provisions of the Constitution of India that have a bearing on health. Actually, this is a kind of previous year question. Not sure whether it is in UPSC prelims, but in CAPF or something, this question is actually very famous. So it's discussed before as well. So first statement, DPSP. Do DPSP have a bearing on health? Yeah. 11th schedule, 12th schedule. Obviously, there is health and sanitation included in that provision. Then 7th schedule, obviously we have many subjects with the association with the health. Is there any provision regarding to health in fundamental duties? No. For those who are unsure about that, please read fundamental duties. It does not mention anything about health. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. C is the answer. Sixth question, which of the following government initiatives is or are fulfilling the objectives of DPSP? So one should be aware that we have socialistic principle, Gandhian principles and liberal intellectual principles, and many of these applications that are given now is having a provision in those things. So India signing military logistic agreements, this is a part of which DPSP? We have some provision about international peace and security, right? So it's associated with that, say liberal intellectual principle of DPSP. Modernization of agriculture is an application of DPSP or not? Yes. What will be that thing? That provision, particular provision? There is a provision that agriculture and animal husbandry should be done in modern scientific lines, right? So it's also a liberal intellectual principle. Then India's participation in climate change talks, it's an application or not? Yes. What is that provision? Something related to environment, right? It's there in DPSP. Then establishment of Khadi and Village Industries Board, that is easy. Like we have that cottage industry provision. So all the above are correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4. D is the answer. Consider the following statements regarding provisions which impose limitations upon the enforcement of fundamental rights. Only Parliament can restrict the fundamental rights of police forces. True or false? So actually normally when asked in prelims and all, people if not sure with this thing, what they will think is actually police is a state subject. Okay, so state may have this. So no, fundamental rights if need to be restricted, that should happen in an all India basis. So only Parliament has the power for in association with the police or army if they want to restrict the fundamental rights. Second statement, the state legislature can enact a law stating that certain jobs can only be filled by applicants who are domiciled in the area. True or false? Then who? Parliament. Because if there should be such condition, it should be applicable at an all India level. Otherwise, all the states will be reserving all the jobs for their own people who are domiciled in that state. So second statement is false. So 1 all is the answer. Then consider the following statements. It's regarding the basic structure thing. They are asking about not correct. Doctrine of basic structure is innovated by judiciary. True or false? Which is the case? Keshavananda Bharati case. Second statement, Supreme Court has clearly defined the term, has they clearly defined the term judicial review? No. Third statement, Minerva Mills case. Supreme Court has said, they are telling that constitution is on the bedrock of balance between fundamental rights and fundamental duty. True or false? It's between fundamental rights and DPSP. So 2 and 3 is the answer. 2 and 3 is not correct. Then 9. Consider the following statements with respect to Government of India Act of 1935. It provided for the establishment of a Federal Public Service Commission. True or false? True. It provided for the establishment of an All India Federation, and the federation never came into being as opposed by, because it is opposed by Muslim League. Right or wrong? Wrong. It is opposed by whom? INC. Is it INC? Princely states. The provision for All India Federation as suggested by Government of India Act of 1935 was between provinces and princely states, but the princely state did not join. That's why that federation did not come into being. So second statement is wrong. Okay, then third statement. It extends the principle of communal representation by providing separate electorates for depressed classes. True, right? 4. It introduced for the first time bicameralism and direct election in the country. True or false? False. Which is the act? Government of India Act of 1919. So 1 and 3 is the answer. Consider the following statements regarding DPSP. Constitution of India does not explicitly classify DPSPs. True, right? Because only for the basis of understanding we have classified this, or the experts have classified that in that way. Then Constitution did not have such a classification. Then second statement, the court can compel the central and state government to implement the provisions under this part. False. Court cannot compel. So it's like a moral instruction to the states. If you have the resource, at that time you implement this thing. Do anybody have confusion about the first statement? No, right? Though we have these three kind of DPSP, that socialistic, Gandhian and liberal intellectual, that kind of division is not given in the constitution. That's for understanding purpose, like later the experts have classified in that way. It's not mentioned in constitution in that way. So 1 all is the answer for the 10th question. 11th question, it's about writ. It's a very easy question but very confusing for the people who does not have clear understanding between prohibition and certiorari. So not correct. How many of you have marked all 4 pairs as correct? Very good. So, what was the question? It was, they are asking about, is there any mismatch? Oh, sorry. Okay, not correct means all 4 pairs. Okay, fine. So, what is the issue in that question? It's confusing because it has given the clause of certiorari in place of prohibition, right? So, only 1 pair is wrong. So, rest of the 3 are correct. So, A is the answer. Then 12th question, consider the following statements. Right to property forms fundamental though justiciable. There is a grammatical issue with that first statement. Second statement, right to privacy can be suspended during national emergency. So both statements are wrong, but is there any confusion in that 2 statements to any of you? No confusion, right? Okay, then it's okay, fine. I thought that some people will be having some confusion regarding first statement. Okay. First statement you have confusion. So actually, which is the justiciable part of the constitution? Which is the justiciable part of the constitution? Fundamental rights. Is right to property a part of fundamental rights? No. That's why. So both are wrong. So both 1 and 2 is the answer because they are asking about not correct. Then 13th question. So how many pairs are correct here? How many pairs are correct in this question? 13th question. Freedom to manage religious affairs. It is which article? Article 20, 26. 27 is regarding what? 27 is regarding what? 27. Yeah, state cannot collect tax for promoting on particular religion, right? So it's regarding taxation. So first statement is wrong. Then abolition of title is article 18, true. Protection in respect of conviction for offences is 22 or 20? 20. Prohibition of employment of children in factories 23 or 24? 24. So only 1 pair is correct, abolition of titles. Next question, consider the following statements with reference to pro tem speaker. The speaker of last Lok Sabha appoints a member of newly elected Lok Sabha as the pro tem speaker. True or false? Who appoints? President appoints. Pro tem speaker has all the powers of speaker. True or false? True. he or she administers oath to the newly elected ministers. True or false? He administers oath to whom? Newly elected members. Okay, not ministers. Then who administers oath to the newly elected minister? The newly appointed speaker. Okay, newly elected speaker. So 2 only is the answer. Next question, which of the following statements is or are correct regarding lame duck session? Like, what is lame duck session? Okay, the session of the last Lok Sabha, like after the new election. So it's not the members of the newly elected. So the first statement says those members of the newly elected Lok Sabha are lame ducks. True or false? False. The members of the last Lok Sabha who were unable to be elected to the new Lok Sabha are called lame ducks. So one is wrong. Then the session requires minimum number of members whose presence is essential to transact the business of the house. False. Actually, it's like the last session. So anyway, that session will be end. That will be the last session. So in that session, there is no requirement of such quorum. Okay. So if it is like, it might be a new information for many of the people. Okay. So like, study it now. So this is why we do the test. Like, many of the information will be new. You study that thing. That's why we ask you to attend the discussion and read the answer key and all. So neither one nor two. It's okay, like, to get some new information during test. Okay, like, we cannot be in a state to study everything and come. Even in prelims also, we are not expected to understand, like, write all 100 questions. Okay, we just need less than 100 marks. Okay, less than 50% marks for getting for clearing the cutoff. So it's okay to not know about some facts. Then 16, consider the following statement with reference to money bill. Rajya Sabha has no powers with respect to money bill. True or false? Rajya Sabha cannot vote, but like, they can suggest discussion, recommendations. So they have some powers. Okay, it's not like they have no powers. Though they cannot reject it, they can suggest the amendments or recommendation. But it is in the hand of Lok Sabha whether to accept that thing or not. Then one is wrong. Term money bill is defined in the constitution. True or false? How many of you have marked it wrong? Okay. Money bill is defined. Which is the article? Article 110 is about the definition of money bills. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. If you missed that fact, it's okay. But study it now. Then 2 only is the answer. Then consider the following statements with reference to Parliament of India. No confidence motion is mentioned in the Constitution more than 2 times. Is there any mention of no confidence motion in the Constitution? No. There is no mention of no confidence motion. It's a part of the business of the House. So one is wrong. Second, a no confidence motion can be moved only in the Lok Sabha but by any member of the House. True or false? No confidence. Is there any procedure for about no confidence motion in Rajya Sabha? No. So that is true. Then salaries and allowances of members of Parliament are charged on the consolidated fund. True or false? Salaries and allowances of members of Parliament are not charged on the consolidated fund. Okay, it's subjected to voting. So 3 is also wrong. 1 and 3 wrong. C is the answer. 18. With reference to office of leader of opposition, consider the following statements. Leader of opposition is not mentioned in the Constitution of India. True or false? True. Then where is it mentioned? There is an act. Okay, in the second statement. Okay, if you have doubt, even then you can cross check with the second statement. That's why I always say you should be comparing both statements before coming to a conclusion. The salaries and allowances of leaders of opposition in Parliament Act 1977. This is where this post got a recognition. It's a statutory post. Then continuing with the second statement, it states that the leader of opposition is the leader of the largest party that has not less than 1/10 of the strength of the House. Actually, the part 1 of the second statement and part 2 of the second statement is individually true. Okay, but clubbing together, it is wrong because it is just a convention. It is not mentioned in that act. So it makes second statement wrong. A only is the answer. 1 only is the answer. Option A. Then 19. Which of the following groups participate in the election of vice president but not in the election of president? Like nominated members of Lok Sabha, will they participate in the election of president? No. So 2 only is the answer. Option A. Then consider the following statement with reference to Parliament of India. Parliament of India acquires the power to legislate on any item in the state list if Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by simple majority. Simple or special majority? Special. So 1 is wrong. Member of a house is elected as its speaker. His resignation will not invite anti-defection proceedings. True, right? Then speaker's power of regulating procedure or conducting business cannot be questioned in any court of law. Obviously true. So 2 and 3 is the answer. Then 21. In the context of conventions of the Constitution, So these kind of questions do come in prelims, because these are a common sense kind of question. 1. Conventions play more significant role in an unwritten constitution, right? True, because there is no written provision, that's why convention. 1 is true. Britain is a very good example. True. 3. In India, conventions don't play any role in constitutional functioning. It's an extremely negative sentence. So 3 is wrong. So 1 and 2 is the answer. Option A. 22nd, a British citizen in India can claim right to. Like those who knows that 15, 16, 19, 29 and 30 are the only rights for citizens can write this. So 4 only is the answer. So elementary education. Education comes under which article? Right to education? 21A. It's available for like foreigners also. So 4 only. Option C is the answer. Then